to mention that there is a bill that the governor just signed this morning that'll affect those of us that are in Missouri. Basically, it is changing the due date for licensure to your birthday, as opposed to you'll be due every 2 years on your birthday, as opposed to annually from when you redid it. So
That's kind of
it
cool.
may give some of us, give some of us maybe a little bit extra time to get CEUs, and they're going to add in another provision, which I'm not completely sure about how it works, is being a member of a professional organization can count as 4 of your CEUs.
Well, that's really cool.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you I had no idea about that. And a plug here for a company called ICT. For those of you guys that maybe we always all need CE hours, but ICT, or if you put in direct CE in your search engine, whether you use Safari or Chrome or Firefox or whatever, direct CE, I was just telling Tim about it. Like, you literally get on, you put here at the top of the bottom of the hour, and I'm not saying you do this, but you put here at the top of the bottom of the hour, and there's no exams, there's no nothing. When it's done, they send in the stuff. Like, you can get, I think it's $10 an hour. So if you needed like 8 hours, it'd be $80, and you don't have to take any exams. I've been using them for years. It's called, if you put in direct CE, it'll come up. Insurance Career Training. I think they're out of Ohio, but it's really, really good, really good. And you can knock out CE very quickly. And I think most states, you can get your ethics without having to go to a class. I think Illinois, Kathy, you have to go sit in a class, don't you?
We normally do, but this year we didn't.
Yeah, normally in Illinois is one of those states. I think Illinois, New York, New Jersey, some of the Northeast states, you have to do that. But anyway, just letting you guys that know, you never know, you'll get that question from one of your agents or candidates. All right, thanks, Roger, for bringing that up. Good morning, Mark. I know you're on mute, probably sitting down on your beautiful porch in the back of your house somewhere. But good morning, you guys. Awesome. All right. So thank you guys for getting on. Again, we'll go through the typical process. The more we do it, the better we get at it. So we'll go through that, but I wanted to go through today a little bit slower. I was hoping, believe it or not, our new guy, Mario, I was hoping that he hadn't done it yet. I was going to actually enter him into HCMS, but Amy's so proficient, and I walked through the process with Mario that he actually went ahead and did it, which is a good thing. We want him to do it right away. The quicker we get them into the process, the quicker we get them to do what they need to do, the better we are. And the quicker we'll get them writing. So from that perspective too, I still think led by me, I'll be the first one to take responsibility for this. We're getting new agents on, we're getting them started, and then we're going right back into the carrier thing again. Like, oh, I have to have this carrier, and I have to have this carrier and that carrier. And some of them are even starting to ask for additional carriers. So I think they're starting to hear about them. I think that's on us to control that process and let them know, hey, before you go out and get 7, 8, 9, 15 carriers, you need to write what these core 4 plus, which we're calling now, I guess, the big 4 plus prosperity. And you'll be surprised once they start writing a little bit of business, they'll come and start asking you themselves, what's this annuity thing, or what's a theme, or that kind of stuff. Then you can walk them down that process. But I'm telling you, if you don't keep control of the process of which carriers they have in the beginning, they're going to try to apply for every single last one of them, and it's a waste of time, because a lot of these people come here, they do all this paperwork, they do all this stuff, and they never go out and sell. And it's unfortunate. So I'm going to go ahead and start backwards. A little bit backwards today. I'm going to go ahead and start with the HCMS stuff. So hopefully at this point, all of us on here, I don't have to go through logging into HCMS. Hopefully you've been out here. But when you come out, your HCMS will look very similar to mine. Your hierarchy, everything, that your directs that are under you, everyone that's on your team, etc. And full transparency, guys, you can see I only have 9 carriers. I tell people
can't see your screen.
Yeah, we can't see it.
That would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I see you over there smiling, Christy, ear to ear. Thank you, ladies. Okay. So let me go back here, dashboard again. You guys should know how to obviously get into HCMS at this point. But you can see carriers. Those are your direct carriers. So it says 9. Again, I only have 9 carriers. Again, you don't need them all. And some of these carriers I've never written with. Amy, look at the screen on there for Occidental. Isn't that weird? The third one down. So we got a weird situation going on with a couple of my carriers.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So
And I
anyway,
tried to log in the other day to yours and it didn't work.
yeah,
Very strange.
I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, but you can go across the line.
What's up with it?
Well, it's I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Yeah.
I was approved with Occidental, right? I got approved with them, and then I just got a letter yesterday in the mail saying that I wasn't. But you can clearly see there's Occidental, and I have a writing number with them as well. It doesn't make any sense at all. And just so you guys know, I know we talked about this. I know it's crazy. And I know I have the states written down. Amy probably can rattle them off the top of her head. There's only 4 or 5 states. Just so you guys, I'm actually kind of glad this came up now. But so you have AmAm and you have Occidental. They are the same company. As a matter of fact, if you look at Occidental, which is the third one down, that's the AmAm logo to the left of Occidental. They're essentially the same company. Occidental operates in, I think, 5 states. And then 6. Okay, I was close. Thank you. Occidental is in 6 states, and the rest are done with AmAm. But you actually use the AmAm platform and all that kind of stuff to run your quotes and everything else. It's very confusing. So Michigan, I believe, is an Occidental state. So if you're in the state of Michigan, or if you have an agent that's in Michigan, they have to have Occidental, even though you may have AmAm. And there also might not even be a need for them to have AmAm if they're not going to write in an AmAm state. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a question because this just
Sure.
came up probably yesterday. So if my downline ends up getting a license in a different state that I don't have, do I need to, or how does that work?
Great question. Great question. So there's a form. Okay, I'm going to make this very short, and you'll save yourself a ton of headache if you just heed what I'm going to explain to you here in just a second. Okay, so there's a form. I'm going to see if I can find it very quickly. If I can't, I'm just going to cover it anyway. There's a form, and that's, yep, here it is right here. Can't believe I found it that quick. So you can see at the top of it, says agent compliance, payment of override commission. Okay, so what this means is where it says state, can override commissions be paid to an upline that does not have an active license or appointment in that state? So you can see all the states in yellow say, yes, you can. To answer your question, Christy, that's saying all these states in yellow means you do not have to have a license. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Because there's a second part to this. Now, here's what I'll tell you from the other side of this thing. This says revised 5/8/18. So you and I both know, as much as states change, most states are different. Some are similar, some aren't, some operate completely different. This would be my advice to you. Spend the money, get the license, and make sure that you're good to go there. Because some of these states have changed. I think Colorado is now one that you do have to have a license in order for you to get override.
Okay.
So the information that we're being supposed, and I just got this, it hasn't even been 4 or 5 months ago that I just got this form. And I was told this is the most recent one. And I'm telling you it's not, because I know there's a couple of states on here, one being Colorado, that you do have to be appointed. So the simplest, easiest way to answer that question for you, Christy, even though the answer I gave you was technically right, if you have an agent that is writing in a state that is a tertiary state to your home state, get the license. And that's just simply going to NIPR, applying for that state. Most of these licenses aren't very much, you guys. They're not at all. I will tell you, if you're getting a license in Florida, Florida is a strange bird. You got to get fingerprints, even if you are exterior to that state. It's pretty simple. They'll send you an email after you apply, letting you know you have to go and get the fingerprints. Literally, when I got my fingerprints for Florida a couple months ago, I literally went in, I was there for 10 minutes. They did the fingerprints, and about a week later, I got the thing saying I was approved. So most other states, you pay the fee. Matter of fact, we had a new agent that literally the guy that just wrote his first application last night, he has people that are going to be in Ohio. He applied for his Ohio license, already got the approval this morning, and he just applied for it last night. Now it'll take him a couple of days to get his license, and then he'll have to upload it into SureBay. But other than that, he's in good shape.
Hey, Corey,
Good question, Chrissy. Yes, sir.
So anytime you get licensed in a new state, I've kind of learned the hard way. You're better off to be ahead of NIPR and the carriers.
Yeah.
And let your top 3 or 4 carriers know that you are now licensed in that state, because I were at Kentucky for the first time a couple days ago, and I've still got some stuff pending because I didn't give them a heads up. Even though you think the system would handle that for us, we still have to let them know that we're licensed in those states.
That's correct.
John Hancock won't even let me run an app right now on 3 deals I've got pending. It takes a couple days after you learn. So anyway, just a heads up. If you're
That's a
gonna be
great point.
a road trip, you ought to call all the carriers ahead of time and let them know.
Yeah. Great point. And what he's speaking on is exactly right. But here's the deal. If you write it, you will get paid on it once you get that license. And even if you have the license, I'll give you an example. Most of the companies are going to work like this, but 60% of our business goes with Americo. So here's the deal. What happens is, let's say, like, I'll give you the example of my young man, that Todd. Okay. Todd just came on, just wrote his first app yesterday. And okay, now this thing's being weird. I've never seen that before, but okay. That's really weird.
It's been doing that a lot lately, but it doesn't, really? If you just close out of it, it should be okay.
I was about to say that. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. You're having fun this morning, aren't you, Christy?
Yeah.
They're laughing at me this morning. Okay. So hold on one second. Let me find Todd really quick. There we go. So somebody actually went in there and did what they were supposed to do, which is a beautiful thing. So I just tapped on Todd's name, and you can see all of the stuff is in there, his NIPR numbers in there. By the way, for you guys, and you guys probably know this, but you will get these questions from your agents. I don't know why they did this, but in the system, NIPR and NPN is the same thing. Now, I'm not trying to, whoever built this system, this is just my opinion, didn't understand the difference between NIPR is a company. NPN is your national producer number. Those are not the same things. So NIPR and NPN for the HCMS system, all those acronyms there, is not, it's the same thing, if that makes any sense. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to go over that. Because you guys will get these questions. But those of you guys that aren't that familiar with HCMS, and you're not in there that often because maybe you don't have a downline, this system is pretty smooth once you get into it and start maneuvering around it. Carriers and products. So you can see right now, and the reason I'm pointing this out, he actually wrote an app yesterday with Americo. So he has to go in there. Your agents have to go in here and add their carriers. Again, we've got videos on the website. And the agents can actually walk through on how to add their carriers there. Amy, is there anything you'd like to add to that as I'm going through this process?
No, just of the importance of having the carriers and writing numbers in there.
And here's why it's important, you guys.
It slows down a lot of stuff.
Yes.
If any moves or comp changes or requests, anything at all. Your pay, your connection to your upline, your connection to your downline.
Yeah. So I'll tell you guys this. So, and I wish more people would get on, especially some people in our leadership, so they understand this process, because they're asking these questions all day long, and it's all these or didn't know, or all this other stuff. But you can see 623, which was early this morning. Matter of fact, he texted me at 1:30 this morning, and I answered. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you answered me." New carrier Great Western has been added to the carrier list by Todd. So you can see that Todd was the one that went in at 1:36 this morning and added Great Western. All right. So he's figuring stuff out too, kind of really quickly, which is a good thing. Hierarchy history. So you'll see Todd is connected to Harold. Compensation history. You can see all the stuff here, which his upline is, just so you guys know that it matters, but Harold's actually going to be moving on from our organization. So he's going to be getting a pay increase, a big pay increase actually, which he's pretty happy about. And he doesn't have anybody here in his downline. All right. So I want to keep this somewhat, I don't want to say private, but not putting people's, stuff out there, but just so you guys can see some of the things and go out there and look at your own teams. Amy, I don't know if you saw that message that I sent out about that with the Shane Pope stuff, but we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, and I just approved several of his, so those will show down at the bottom if you refresh, maybe, I don't know.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna go to notifications here real quick. I always leave mine open for this meeting. So on the right hand side, I don't know my left and my right now. As I mentioned yesterday, so onboarding. The onboarding process was done with a gentleman by the name of Mario that we just brought on yesterday. Mario actually recruited himself, but he's been watching, which is pretty funny. I'd say ours are pretty, try to put out the best product we can, but compared to Andrew and those guys that have a $200,000, podcast studio, which is a great thing. And we'll get to that point, but just the low level videos that we're putting out that, try to put them on a bi-weekly basis with just some other teammates. I know a couple of you guys have been on videos and that kind of stuff here, which is great. And I know Mark and I are going to be working on some stuff soon. This shows you where your hierarchy's at and what's going on. I usually have anywhere between 20 and 30 things that are going on behind the scenes that Amy's doing or stuff that's being uploaded in or agents actually doing what they're supposed to do. But the cool part about this is it's telling you where things are in the process, right? So Noah Stone 5 days ago, onboarding process has been completed. It was completed by Noah. So this is a great way for you to go in and look and see what your people are doing. Like this Tracy Ballard. I'm not sure what's going on with her. I sent her a message in Slack just a couple of days. She hasn't done anything since she's been here. She's been here for a while, but it's been 6 days ago. She actually went in there and did something. So this is a great way for you to go in and start looking stuff up. Here's another one. New carrier request by Carlene Woljohn was rejected and closed by Amy. Carlene's no longer going to be on our team. No disrespect to her, but she just doesn't fit our culture. She doesn't fit what we do here. And again, I don't mean it. There's nothing personal about that. So I've instructed Amy, anything that Carlene sends in, just to reject it. She's not a part of our team. So you can literally, guys, you can go in here as you start adding people to your team. You can go in and start looking and seeing if your agents have done what they're supposed to do. Alex Brickhouse. Alex is going to be coming on. I think Mark, he's going under you, I believe, right? I think that's what I was told in that situation. So Alex is going to be coming on and be going under Mark, which is great. And you can see all the stuff that's going on. You can see the day it was done. A lot of times you can see the time it was done. You can see here that Anthony Jones, carrier approved and closed by agent. I mean, you can see all of this stuff out here. So it helps you keep track of what's going on with your agency, if you will, as well. Amy, anything you'd add there? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot this morning.
no, you're good. That's why I'm on these calls. Nope,
Perfect.
you're good.
Right,
Wait, actually, yeah, I lied. Their HCMS looks different this morning, so that's probably why you had that error there. It looks like they're making some changes. That's probably also why the Shane Pope is in there, but just looking at it, it looks different today. So
okay.
They're probably making some updates.
Yeah. Well, I was in here poking around this morning, looking to see if, first I was looking to see if Mario did what he said he was going to do, and he did. And Todd's obviously doing some things in there as well, because he and I were having a conversation earlier this morning. So much appreciated there. Any questions on this guy? You can't hurt this system. You can go in, poke around at it, and all that other stuff. I know several of you guys are on here every single week, so this is probably starting to seem like a much simpler, much easier process. Again, when you get somebody started and you get them on, you have to invite them. You have to invite them. So you have to come out here to agent invite. Again, that's the plus sign at the top of the screen, top left-hand portion of the screen. You enter all their information in. And then what you do is you're going to the bottom right-hand portion of the screen, you're going to hit send request. This is then going to send a request to your agent, right? It's going to send a request to them. They're going to complete all their information. Then they're going to get the second email congratulating them for doing so. And then the third email they're going to get is going to have this SureBay link into it. When they get the SureBay link, again, I know I sound like a broken record. When they get the SureBay link, they're going to request a big 4 and nothing else. Make sure they know that, because then you go in, and I've had people I've gotten off the phone with, they go in there and they request everything under the sun.
Can I interrupt?
Yes, absolutely.
The very first email that you get from HCMS, it's basically just your profile. That's all you're setting up is your HCMS profile. That's what, then you'll get that second email saying your onboarding complete. So the onboarding is technically just setting up your profile. You're not requesting any carriers in HCMS yet. So you're literally just going on there and setting up a profile. And then you get that second email that says you completed that. And then you get the third one to SureBay, SuranceBay, SureLC, all kinds of names. So the first place you start requesting carriers is SuranceBay. A lot of people think that when you're doing the onboarding, they're like, why can't we request carriers? Because you set up your profile in HCMS, you go out to SuranceBay to request the 4 core carriers. And then that's when you go back to HCMS to request the additional ones. But I still,
Right.
every single day, I
Yep.
still have agents requesting the 4 core in. I just literally just rejected that for 2 people, which is fine. It's no big deal. It takes me 2 seconds. It's a reject button and then I have to make a note. But
it's
people-
not fine though. I mean, and I'm not trying to step on your feet, Amy. It's not, because that process, if we understand the process and we explain it to them, it takes time, it takes labor, it takes money for you to have to go in every single time because someone wasn't listening to reject those. We just need to make sure we do a better job as leadership explaining that, hey, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen. Even though you're going to go in there and you're going to see all those carriers, we're in the process of merging HCMS and SureBay. That's why you'll see those. Only apply for Americo, AIG, John Hancock, and Moo. And then I'm going to send you the information for Prosperity. When I send you the
Christy, did you
information,
wait? I think Christy
Go
had
ahead.
a question.
I had
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
question. Well, I
Kristen.
do have a question, but you know so this just came up in my head, but it's not like we can change it because we're not at our headquarters. But Corey, did you ever go through Phone Burner, the training on Phone Burner?
Yeah,
So
the
you know how,
training
like,
just
you had to-
specifically for us.
You know how you had to do like step 1 and then you had to check it. Step 2,
Yeah.
check. I was like, wish they had that here. Like you had like the check 1, like you actually had to check it before you can move on to your next one. But yeah, that was just that's how I am.
Well, and here's the deal. I know you said that you had a process thing written out that you were going to share with us. And I know everybody gets busy, but here's the problem with that. And this was my whole thought process before. We could put a step-by-step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They don't look at it.
Yeah. Well,
That's the problem.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
really, I had a
I have
question. That was just
literally
my,
like emailed that to people and said, this is what, here are your steps. Like,
And they come and they still
I'm
screw it up.
telling you, within minutes, I'm rejecting their 4 core and HCMS. Like
Yeah.
I literally will spell it out to them. And it's
Yeah.
still like, you only hear what you want to hear. You only see what you want to see. I mean, people want to do things how they want to do them. And,
So I have a quick suggestion, Christine. I don't mean to step on your feet here, but I know you're getting ready to say something. So guys, I'm constantly ebbing and flowing this stuff because I probably do. I need to be doing more, but it's tough. I'll be the first one to admit it. And Mark, I know you're experiencing this, trying to sell at a high level, trying to recruit, trying to do admin and all that kind of stuff. But trust me, it's worth it. One of the things that I just started doing, and I just started doing this like 2 weeks ago, and it's really helped. There's 2 reasons why, kind of the psychology of how people think, right? Think about how we communicate now. Twitter, TikTok, it's 30, 45 to a minute segments, right? And we're being conditioned. Think about that. So if that's the case, why would we try to recreate the wheel and throw up all this stuff, let's use a term, all over these agents when they're getting started? They're confused as hell anyway. Even if it's somebody that's experienced and has been with another company, this is different because they're applying for, I have 9 carriers. I had to actually click the buttons to apply for all 9 of those carriers. It's not if you're at a combined insurance, you go in, you fill out your stuff, you send everything in, it goes through home office, they get you an agent code, and then you go to boot camp, and then you're out writing the next week because you only have that 1 carrier. Now, I digress, and here's why. What I started doing is breaking this down into segments, and what it's done is it's forced communication between me and the agent. This is what I mean. So yesterday, when I went through all this stuff with Mario, I said, Mario, we're going to slow this thing down to speed up. We went through all this stuff. And what I mean by that is I'm going to get you set up with Slack. I do not let them go after we've shaken hands or virtually shaken hands and they said they want to come on. The very first thing I do is Slack because Slack can be very confusing. I get them on Velocity. And when I do that, I explain to them what Velocity is. I explain to them what Phoenix is. I explain to them what Ignite is. And then I explain Genesis, right? That way, if they see those things, they're aware of them. It's not the first time. And I just tell them, look, Velocity, this all started with Velocity with Dave Witcher. You'll hear a lot about Dave. He posts videos every day on Facebook. I love to work out, blah, 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 blah. And actually, Dave gets hopped up on Red Bull all the time, too. So you'll get to know that. He's a funny dude. And I say that because they'll remember it, right? And then I'll mention, you don't have to know these names, but when you get to the process, when you're in home, Chris Giavo and Todd Hausberger are 2 people that you're going to want to know their names. So let me give you their information. Text them when we get off today so that they know who you are. So if you ever get in a situation when you're in a home and for some reason I'm not answering or the in-home helpline is not answering, you'll be able to contact someone. And I'm like, okay, you ready? And I give them the phone number and the names. Again, I say this is slowing down to speed up. That's the second part. Once I do that, I go over exactly what's going to happen with it. When we get off of here, I'm going to immediately put your information in the system, which goes to our admin, who's Amy. She's going to send out an email to you. If they're not licensed, you guys, then I tell them, this is what that's going to look like. The only thing you're going to do, because they're non-licensed, you're going to get an email. It's going to have the discount code, and it's going to have all the other information that you're going to need. This is very simple. What I need you to do in the next 24 hours is go on, get set up, do all that other stuff. And I need you to let me know that you're doing that through Slack, which we're getting ready to get set up. Now, I'm going to pause. Is anything I said complicated?
No.
Okay, perfect. I'm only going to give them a couple more things, because what it does is it forces communication between me and that agent throughout the process. Another thing that we're doing, myself included, because we all get busy, is we don't have enough communication with these agents and they fall off to the wayside. That's what's happening. And then it goes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and next thing you know, they're doing something else. All right. So if they're not licensed, we go through that process. Hey, let me know you've done that. Get yourself set up. Once you get that set up, most people get this done in about 2 or 3 days, because all you need is the life. So in the next 48 hours, you or I are going to communicate with each other, because I don't want all the communication to be on my side. I want someone that's engaged, right? And after we're going to communicate in the next 48 hours to see where you're at in the process. And at that point, you should be ready to set your testing date sometime by next week, because I'm telling them right there when I hire them, you have 2 weeks to get this done or else. Now, Amy, I'm going to put you on the spot. This is a very simple question. How many people have I, and you don't know the number of this, and neither do I, but there's a lot of people, I say 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, do I cut them off?
Yeah.
If they don't get it done in 2 weeks, guys, wait, save yourself the headache. They're not going to do it. Now,
So make sure you do your part and continuously try to contact them throughout.
That's correct.
That
And if I'm doing
every day
my
or
part,
two, you need to be in contact with them.
and if I'm doing my part, and I'm not preaching here, guys, I just want to let you guys know I'm constantly trying to tweak this to make this easier for all of us. But here's the deal. If they don't get it done in 2 weeks, if they don't set the exam, guys, I'm telling you straight up, I don't just piss them away. I have a conversation with them. Now, if we have this conversation right in the beginning, I call it an upfront contract, and you knew exactly what was expected, and we have the conversation and you say you knew what was expected, they're not children, they're adults, and I'm going to treat them as such, right? So if they don't get that stuff done and it's 2 weeks and there's no exam and I haven't heard from them and I've been reaching out to them via Slack and they're not getting back, guess what? My next message to them is, hey, I call them and hey, I've been trying to get in contact with you over the next couple, last couple of weeks. You had 2 weeks to get the information done. We haven't heard from you. Please give me a call back today, or, we're just going to go ahead and politely shake hands and move forward. No emotions, just a business conversation. They call back every single time, or they send some communication. Oh, I had COVID. Oh, I had this going on. I had my sick dog and, all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm just letting you know, I'm going to keep my end of the bargain. It was 2 weeks. But you guys have to use your own discretion here, right? Sometimes you're going to give somebody another week, but if they don't follow through, we move on. They never show up. But the funny thing is, I've got a couple that have done that, you guys, and I told them we're done. And now that one of them, the Carlene lady, she keeps trying to apply. Does she keep trying to apply for carriers, Amy?
Yes, I just rejected a bunch.
They want the job. So anyway, I'll let you use your discretion there. So here's the invitation stuff. Once you get it sent out to them, you can easily go back in here at 24 hours because it doesn't take that long for them to complete it. That's the start of the process. Any questions before we move forward?
Well, I do. Yeah. 'Cause really, originally, my original question was about the insurance pay. So, because you guys said something about on one of our other calls about saving the link.
Oh, God,
right?
yes. Amy, go ahead.
The link expires. Excuse me. The link expires. It's like a live link. So if you don't save it as a favorite, excuse my dog in the background. If you don't save it as a favorite or bookmark it, it dies. So you have to save it, and then it will stay live, I guess. That's how you explain it.
Amy, this is Kathy. I saved
Yeah.
mine as bookmark and mine expired about 2-3 weeks ago.
Whenever they do updates, it also does that. So I can send you another, anytime you need a link, just let me know and I can send it to you easily through Slack or email.
Yeah, if you could Slack me in, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes when they do updates, it just does that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate it. So you guys can see even on our side, and I consider us to be a much further ahead than probably a lot of other organizations, because I talk to Amy every day, obviously, and she's in some of these other meetings and they're praising her about how far along she is in the process, but she also gets to see other organizations. And I'd put us up against anybody in reference to processes, understanding the processes and moving forward. And what this does, I mean, this meeting might not seem like a big deal, but the more proficient you guys are with these processes, the faster you're going to be able to get your people started. Because people do get frustrated. I know you guys have. I did when I first got started. It's a very frustrating process, but if you can slow it down and let them know, hey, this process is a working process, and it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but it's worth it. Then you can start having those upfront contracts again with. Once you get prosperity, you need to start making some money right away. I know it's going to seem a little bit weird having one carrier, and then give them a couple of examples, because you don't have to look real hard on Facebook to see them. There's plenty of people here that have come on just writing with prosperity, writing $10,000, $15,000 their first week. Call it luck? I think not. I think they're just, they're going out and they're doing the deal. So any questions on how to add an agent to here? It's just a plus sign, adding the information to the agent. This sends it out to them. You can come back out here, check your little bell up there. It'll show you all your notifications on what's going on with your organization. I don't ever X out of these because I want to just kind of keep track of, hey, I talked to this person 3 days ago, I hadn't heard back. Oh, they actually did go in and do what they said they're going to do. That also gives me a reason to reach out to them again via Slack, so that they're getting used to our communication style moving forward. Anything else anybody has? Amy, anything you'd like to add before we move forward? Very good. Okay. Roger, anything? I put you to sleep?
Nope, I don't. I'm
right.
good.
All right. I just want to make sure I didn't run you off, put you to sleep, dude. All right. So I'm going to go to the Genesis site very quickly. You guys have all been on here before. We actually had almost 900 people from the 22nd of May to the 22nd of June. There's been over 900 people on our site, which is pretty cool. And just constantly trying to make this better. I wanted to point this out to you guys. Todd created a, I call it the Todd file because I thought it was funny. He got a kick out of it. If I see good content or something that's out there that's a good resource, guys, I try to put it on the site. I don't want it to be crazy or there's too much stuff out of here. But again, when an agent's in the field or they're trying to get better, we want to try to provide every resource we can. I'm not going to go through this. I'll let you guys do it on your own. But Todd has just constantly been adding. As he gets stuff, he just drops it in this Google file. And there's a ton of good, just great stuff out there. So I wanted to add this to the site because I thought it was pertinent. I thought it made sense. But you guys can click through. It's got all kinds of stuff you can print off or add to your quiver, if you will, as you're moving forward in your organization. Let's see. I wanted to point that out. And the other thing is, again, the HCMS portion here. Sorry, I'm flipping this all over the place. The HCMS portion, guys, some of these videos are 42 seconds long. So if, your agent's having issues and that kind of stuff, yeah, you can help them through, but also show them where the resources are. Again, Christy, you've been instrumental in a couple of changes on the site, and I'm very appreciative of it. I don't have all the answers, don't want to have all the answers. That's why we're a team. But if you guys have things that you want to see out here, please let me know. I'm happy to make the adjustments. I'm kind of getting it down now, so know how to get things done fairly quickly from that. The last thing that I want to mention here, I know we talk about it every single week. I want to bring it up again, is you guys creating your own link. It's simply custom rogue IMO video. You go out there, you put your information in, and you save the link. You can send it to people to take a look at the video, or you can send them to our site. Hopefully you guys are recruiting site. The difference between the agent site and the recruiting site is Join FFL Genesis is the recruiting site. FFL Genesis is the agent site. So they go through, you have them watch the video, or you can have them watch your video and then come out here. It's completely up to you. But probably a little bit more professional for them to come out here to this site and go through all this information. If you guys want to see something else,
all right, guys, thanks for joining us.
Less is more.
Super excited today. My name is Zach Kurowski. I'm here with my buddy Jake Conan.
Okay. I don't know how I even clicked on that. But the biggest portion of the site, guys, is if you have somebody that's ready to rock and roll and they go through the site, just simply tell them after you watch the video, if you'd like more information or you'd like to move forward, set up a formal interview, just simply go to join the team, put your name, your email in. And then when they put their information in the message, just have them put. So if it's Christy and you're the one that recruited them, just tell them to put Christy Polsak in there, or Christy, because you're the only Christy on the team. put Christy in there. And when they hit your future starts here, this actually sends an email to our administration email, and it has all of the information on there, and it comes in an email format. So I can then send it out to you. So you know that that person came in here, watched the site, went through the website. And the guy that we just hired in Florida, I had no idea who this dude was at all, not at all. And he's actually gone through all of our stuff. And this is how he found us, was this website, which is pretty cool. And I can see the analytics behind this as well. There's over 400 people that have gone on to this particular site in the last 30 days, which is pretty cool. Lets us know that it's working. All right. Any questions about that?
Nope.
All right. So the last thing that I want to, and again, I'm kind of regurgitating here, but so when somebody gets started, I'm going to go ahead and scare you guys here before we get going here. So again, when somebody gets started, remember, you're going to go through all the information with them. You're going to go on the Genesis site. You're going to complete the onboarding form. Everybody knows what the onboarding form is, correct? On the Genesis site. Okay. You're going to complete the onboarding form, and then a welcome email goes out. So if you're doing it yourself and they're licensed, Amy has sent this. She's copied me on it. Thank you for doing that. She has sent the welcome email both for licensed and non-licensed. She'll send that out to you guys to make the process simple. But I highly recommend you go over what that agent's going to get. Don't just send a blind email out to them, because they're going to go right out there and they're going to apply for every carrier, and Amy's going to decline. She's going to reject it. And explain to them the difference between HCMS and Insurance Bay, and that those processes are going to be, because you might get somebody that comes here and says, I got 5 people I want to bring on. And you better make sure you got your head in order, right? Or just call us and we'll help you do it as well. So send an email to them, licensed, non-licensed, and then it's the same thing. You're going to go out, you're going to complete their stuff to add them into HCMS. They're going to get the HCMS email. The second email is going to tell them congratulations. The third one's going to tell them, give them the link to Insurance Bay. They're going to go out, complete the stuff for Insurance Bay. They're going to add all their information in. I'm going to add this little caveat. If they are licensed and you're getting their information, try to get their NPN or NIPR number from them so you can put it into the system, because that does matter for HCMS, and it matters when Amy's putting the information in the system as well. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah, it just helps because then you don't have to go in and try to change the temp to the regular.
Yeah,
and one thing I was going to say, a good way to explain Insurance Bay is like that connects them to NIPR, the state, for licensing, whatever. HCMS connects them to FFL. So that's why they have to do both.
Yep.
Like Corey said, hopefully soon it'll all be HCMS.
Yeah. So it's a good thing, though, if they're making changes, then that's a good thing. We're obviously getting a step closer. Once they've gone through HCMS 1, 2, 3, then they're going to click on the Insurance Bay link in the third email that they get from HCMS. Again, the big 4 plus Prosperity, Americo, AIG, John Hancock, Mutual of Omaha, and then you're going to send them Prosperity. Please let them know, because I've been getting this question a lot as well from people. Please let them know they're going to have to do AML, anti-money laundering. Basically, I just explained to them, it's just making sure the companies have to make sure they put something in place saying that they've told you to make sure you don't steal money from people. That's all it is, right? Excuse me. So Prosperity, well, all they have to do is watch the videos. Just tell them that. Watch the video, click through. Americo is going to have you do one, and Mutual of Omaha is going to have you do one. Those 2 will cover everything else. Keep your certificates, because you will need them later. Screenshot them, keep them, whatever. Because people just go, okay, I got it completed. Just make sure you screenshot and be safe, and you'll leave them. But again, please let them know. Don't go applying for all the carriers. The big 4, and I'm going to send you Prosperity. 5 carriers is plenty to get started. And then the rest of them, I'm not going to mention all those when they have to go back to HCMS to apply for all the other carriers that we have. AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, blah, 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 blah. Any questions?
No.
Any concerns, comments, anything we need to adjust or add to the website? Mark, you just slid up there. Do you have something to add?
No, I just said, no, I'm good.
Okay, perfect.
This helps a lot every week, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Trust me, guys, I've gone through, I've written it down 15 times. I've taken notes. I can do it in my sleep now. But I just want to make sure, if we're expecting you guys to understand the process, I need to have it inside and out. Because I do, and it helps me when I get questions throughout the day and, that kind of stuff. And Amy's been instrumental of keeping me on task and on point and stuff with this as well, because she's got it down much better than I do. But as we get bigger and this thing speeds up again. I know I say that term all the time, speeding up to slow down. If we slow down and explain this stuff to people, it alleviates a lot of confusion. It alleviates a lot of anxiety for a new agent that's starting here. And they just get started writing faster. They only know what we know, and they only know what we show them because they don't know any better. So, Amy, anything you'd say to close? Sweet. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate you. If you need anything, let me know. Let's have a big
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Mark.
Bye-bye. Yep.